Hello, everybody. This is Chuck here in Chuckadelphia with my good friend Gene. So, let me ask you something. Do you really think you know everything there is to know about phrasal verbs?
No.
Right. You tell them, Gene.
No.
Well, today we're going to be talking about different ways to use the phrasal structure of go off. So, I decided to come here into the middle of nowhere for this episode. So, sit back, relax, and take away your worries of the world and join me in Chuckadelphia, along with my friend Gene.
No.
You think you can hang out with us? You think you're cool enough to hang out with us?
Not on your life.
Well, here we go. It's gonna explode! Hold on! Welcome again to the command center here in Chuckadelphia. Thank you for coming along. As I said, tonight we're going to be talking about 4 different ways to use the phrasal verb go off. Okay? The first way that we can use to go off is when we want to say that something explodes. Now, let me be clear about this. Please do not mix up explode and exploit. Sometimes students say explode when they want to say exploit. They have 2 different meanings, okay? Now, as a verb, exploit has 2 particular meanings that you'll probably use a lot. One is to utilize, especially for profit, something as far as like a business or a resource, okay? Like many companies, many governments exploit their oil reserves, okay? They exploit their oil reserves. Now, maybe you live in a country that has oil. And if you do, maybe you have companies that exploit those oil resources. So you want to say exploit oil, not explode. And we'll talk about that in a moment. Okay? And another way to say exploit is like to use selfishly for one's own ends. To like take advantage of someone or something. Okay? So some people exploit other people's kindness, and that's not nice. Right? So now, let's compare that to explode, okay? Explode, on the other hand, as I said, has a different meaning, okay? The most common way that you'll use explode is like when something expands with force and noise because of rapid chemical change or decomposition, like gunpowder or nitroglycerin. Think of dynamite. No, not dynamite, not dynamite. I'm talking about dynamite, like at the beginning of the video. Gene and I escaped from the explosion. When the bomb exploded, we escaped. And that's why I'm here talking to you. And Gene is off dancing at a club, right? So that's one way to use explode. Now, we can also use explode when we say when things burst or fly into pieces or break up violently with a loud report, such as a boiler from excessive pressure of steam or something like that, right? Or when someone bursts violently, explodes violently or emotionally. Sometimes we say people explode with noise or laughter, violent speech, or with anger, okay? And that's why it's important to know the difference between exploit and explode. If you use explode when you want to use exploit, like earlier in the example about governments exploiting oil reserves, they certainly don't explode them like with bombs. Like, if they did, then they wouldn't reap any benefits from them whatsoever. You know what I mean? And it would make the environment a lot worse. So, back to the first way of using to go off. When something explodes, we can say it goes off. Like, Scully, the bomb could go off at any moment. Or the bomb went off before the police could deactivate it. Now that's important. I want to remind you that go is an irregular verb. So in the simple past, we would say went. And if you use the past participle, you would say gone. Okay? The bomb has gone off. Okay? Not the bomb has went off. Understand? To go off can also mean to become angry. In this way, you kind of have the feeling that some people's anger can sometimes be like a bomb exploding. I think almost all of us have someone in their lives that is like that. So, for example, Janet went off last night after I told her that things weren't working out. I said, "It's not you, it's me. I don't think we should see each other anymore." Or some psychotic sports fans go off after they watch their favorite team lose. Some of them even become violent. The next way that we're going to focus on with to go off is when we want to express when something begins or starts, especially with signals, alarms, or warning sounds. I think that most of us will commonly use to go off when we refer to things like alarm clocks, car alarms, or fire alarms when they make sounds. For example, it was hard for students to concentrate during the exam because Jose's car alarm kept going off whenever a pigeon went to the bathroom on it. Finally, to go off can also mean when a machine stops or turns off per se. Here's a common way you will use it, like in this example. When we are not active with our computers, the monitors will go off as a way to conserve energy. In other words, the computer monitors turn off when we're not using them. They go off, okay? Or many times, when we are not using our Blu-ray players, they will go off automatically. You'll see this, like many of our household items are like this. Blu-ray players, DVD players, anything like any of this like newer gadgets that we have around the house. They may just automatically go off when we're not using them, okay? And so those are the 4 ways that we would use to go off as phrasal verbs. Well, folks, that's all for today's episode of Phrasal Friday. As always, thank you very much for watching. I really do appreciate your time. I hope that everything is going great for you in life and for your loved ones, and that you're able to find a little bit of happiness even when the world is a mess. And even when things get bad, take time out of your day and hang out here in Chuckadelphia. Because remember, you don't need a classroom to learn. The world is your classroom. And I'm glad you found the time to come to Chuckadelphia for it. So, have a great day, great week, carpe diem, and as always,